What is up, guys? Welcome back to the MLG Winter Championships. I'm JP McDaniel.
And I'm Rob Simpson, and up next we are going to have Grubby against Alive. Now,
Yep.
Grubby unfortunately has not had a very successful run so far in his group. He's actually had an incredibly difficult time in this event.
Yeah, he's having some trouble. He is in a rather hard group, and you know, this group is so competitive that I believe right now, I think 3 people are tied for first place, possibly just 2. But there's potential here. I think if Alive wins, he goes into that tie as well.
I think I don't remember what the scores were at, but it was something where, like, if Parting won, I think he was in first place, and then if Alive had won, then it just could have had potential for like a 4-way tie.
Yeah, there is a sick tie. So let's take a look at Grubby. Just if you guys aren't too familiar with him, we have some stats and some accomplishments that he's really done so far in the StarCraft 2 world. He's kind of one of the rising stars in the StarCraft 2 world, where
That's right.
we saw him play at almost every tournament out there. I kind of feel like
he travels quite a bit, shows
so
up quite a bit to all of the events as well. One of the biggest things that's notable about him is that he was such a prominent Warcraft 3 player. We always talk about him being such a good orc player from the Warcraft 3 scene. He's such a personable guy. Switched over to StarCraft 2 not too long after it came out, and just really hasn't been performing super well. One of the biggest things that happened recently for him was his performance in the online qualifier. Just the fact that he made it in through the European online qualifier for the MLG Winter Arena, that was a large feat. And then he made it out into the top 16, so that's what got him into this pool play. And those were both very big accomplishments for Grubby in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now in Pool D, just to bring you guys up to speed, Parting is at 3-1 with an 8-3 map differential. The STC is 3-2 with 6-5. Oz is 3-2 with 6-5. Alive is 2-1. That's 5-2. Rain is 1-2, and Grubby is 0-4. So Grubby has not won a single set just yet in this tournament. So very big match for him.
Yeah.
But it's also a very big match for Alive, because if he does win this, it puts him at 3-1.
Yep.
He's got one more match to play, and that means that we're going to have a potential really weird finish to this pool, where I think the rules state that every single person goes into a best-of-1 format, according to John Nelson. Yeah, he was telling me about this weird tie-breaking thing that might go down tonight if everyone ends up tying in this pool.
Huh. That I kind of just want to see that.
It would be fun. It would be fun. So
that would
looks like we do have our game invite here. First map is going to be on MLG Entombed Valley, and you know, we had the pleasure of casting Alive earlier, or excuse me, being at the analysis desk while Alive was playing earlier today. What were your thoughts on that game, and does Grubby really stand a chance here in your eyes?
I mean, Parting is just so good PvT in general, right? Like we saw earlier in the tournament, he's just really been tearing it up. Period. He can just do that. He can do whatever he wants because his PvT is so solid.
Yeah, I kind of compare him to Marine King in a sense. Marine King, I think,
Marine King of
maybe
Protoss,
a little notch above Alive, but Alive just has the potential to be so good and really just keep his opponent wherever he wants to. Marine King just has that incredible control that I don't really know if anyone matches it right now.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Marine King, he has been doing ridiculously well.
Yeah. All right, so the countdown has started. We're going to go ahead and jump in the game here. Grubby is definitely the one that will definitely be put to test here. Alive going up against Grubby, definitely the clear favorite. So we're going to see how this unfolds here. MLG Entombed Valley, like I said. So who do we have over here, Rob?
Down here in the lower left-hand corner of the map, currently 0-4 in his group. This is his last chance to put his name on the map. Playing for, I think, his own team, Grubby.
Yes, he is a member of Team Grubby. I believe they are sponsored by Twitch. They might have 1 or 2 other sponsors. But
he is Team Grubby.
He is one of the few self-endorsed players out there. That's just how big a name he was in Warcraft 3. Up here in the top left, who do we have?
Up here in the top left corner of the screen, playing for Team Fnatic, the blue Terran. He has a chance to take this group alive.
And I just realized whoever was casting here before has inverted mouse scrolls. So this might be kind of weird, guys. I am truly sorry for any observing scuffles or mess ups that happen here. But
This is
We'll
going to
get
be
through
the
it.
most deliberate cast ever because we're just going to be following units for as much time as we can.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Control F is going to be our friend this game.
I'm looking forward to this. So, of course, we do have that gateway going down. Grubby going to send out the probe for the scout. Now, the big thing here is I have to think very, very careful about where I want to move this mouse. This map is just so easy to get your third base. I mean, once you take out these destructible rocks, you can easily turtle, whether you are Terran or Protoss, and just get comfortable with whatever army you want. And because of that, typically, I feel like certain players don't want this game to go to the end game, and certain players do want it to go to the end game. I feel like Grubby has never really been the cheesy style of player, and Alive, I don't really feel is that way either. So I think we're going to be in for some macro games here.
I know that for me it always feels pretty awkward dealing with that third base, just because it's like strangely around like a cliff. And now we've got Grubby in here getting a small amount of information. Does not see a refinery placed down. Definitely doesn't see two of them. So he's going to know that nothing big is up. Alive is getting his orbital command. Alive, surprisingly, or well, I guess not that surprisingly, is just starting off incredibly standard. Oh man, the Marine gets back there and takes down the first blood.
Yeah, Alive is going to be going for that CC first here as the SCV gets into plays. A pretty common opening, very indicative of the macro-based games that I was mentioning. And Grubby looks like he is actually storing up the minerals as well for a Nexus here as well.
So Grubby used one Chrono Boost on that Cyberknife where he hasn't really been saving up as much energy as you may expect for a really early push. Oh man, and the SCV is down there getting a bit of information. We have that first Stalker, about 60% of the way out, almost able to finish off the SCV, but it's going to escape alive.
I see what you did there with the Alive pun, Rob. Very, very clever stuff. Now, of course, in this matchup, you will just see the bunker go down there. It's very important to get that down because a Stalker can just simply kill a handful of Marines by itself. And okay, we have 4 racks going down here. Has he started his gas? No, I think we're going to see a 5th one. And this is a very common build from Terran players.
Well, so this is the thing that we were talking about earlier, right? When we saw Rain playing, I think that he like expanded, and then because you get the information that you could think that your opponent is expanding,
right?
And then they just add 4 racks inside their base and potentially crush you. Now, Grubby has just expanded. He does have 3 gates, so this is going to be a 3-gate expand. And his warp gate tech is complete, but right now with the pacing of when those barracks are coming out, we're going to see far too many Marines on the field, I think, too fast.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Grubby simply because of the build that Alive has chosen. 3 gates is just going to get demolished here, although we'll see if he takes his 2 gas over here at the natural. He could go very sentry heavy, and if he does that, he can really just utilize the force fields and take on a pretty big Marine force, but he has to scout it out first, and he's definitely a little bit further away from being able to do that.
Ooh.
We actually have a little Marine troop here sneaking down this back path of this middle map, or you can see here on the mini map, and I think that Grubby actually just saw this as he moves forward with the Stalkers.
Now, I don't know. A couple of those Stalkers are very far out of position. The Marines are going to come out in time for him to be able to defend that, and I think that that Zealot may have just barely seen one of the Marines. No, Grubby did not see it coming, and so many of the Marines are coming up there into the natural. He's going to go straight for taking out as many probes as he possibly can. They just aren't quite in range just yet. Grubby is now forced to retreat with his Stalkers across the center of the map, and Grubby is just losing probes left and right, unfortunately. Oh, man, the focus fire as the Zealots get warped in. They're not able to beat enough of the meat that they should. And he gets in onto the Stalkers, but will he be able to finish one of them off? Grubby with his impeccable micro there still hasn't lost a single Stalker in this exchange. Oh, no, man, all of the Marines come in with the reinforcements, but Grubby still maintains his Stalker count.
Yeah, and we still have this pylon over here, so Grubby could utilize this as the game goes on, but uh-oh, here come the force fields down, and he's actually in terrible position on that ramp. The Marines just have such a bigger surface area, and he's just going straight for the probes here, which is definitely a smart decision for Alive. If you look real quick at the unit tab, the probe to SCV count 26 to 31. These Marines are just dealing so much damage for so little cost, and he's actually got to send it back. Did he scout? Okay, so yeah, he did
Oh, now he
indeed
does.
see this pylon over here. So a very action-filled, action-packed opening to this match, and right now Grubby is not doing that well. I mean, he lost a ton of mining type from his expansion. With it, it's basically what his entire build was kind of designed to do. He never was able to utilize this over here, but he's moving forward actually with these stalkers, but he's got to be careful as if that bunker goes down or if he gets caught off guard with these Marines, which, I think that's what Alive is trying to do here. And this could be bad as he's going to get trapped here and take some more HP loss.
Oh man, one of the stalkers goes down. He follows up with additional Marines. One only has a few HP remaining. He needs to continue running away. Now we see Grubby trying to stay aggressive, trying to continue with that stalker micro, because stalkers versus Marines you can actually shoot and still take 0 damage. But when there are just too many, when you have to micro a bunch of them individually against a mass of Marines, it's hard to get away unscathed.
Yeah, and he always has this bunker to really fall back to. So let's see what Alive, though. He is adding on so many reactors
Upgrade
and tech
time.
labs here. Yeah, he's already getting stim and combat shield. We still have this little attack going on, but once again, Alive is so good with his positioning, getting right behind these stalkers. Now they're going to have to run as fast as they can through this little hallway on the left-hand side of the map. Another forward pylon here for Grubby, but I don't know if he's going to be able to utilize this. If he does have that robotics facility down, also getting the robotics bay, but it's not looking so good.
Nah, Grubby's going to be in a tough spot. He's going to need to start taking some risks, but of course,
wow,
Alive is just continuing his upgrade. Man, nice scouting, gets up there, does see the forward pylon. Pretty ace. And now he's warping in his ult, so that will defend it, but of course that's just going to trigger Alive to bring back the rest of his army. Now, Grubby has finished up his robotics bay. Facility, excuse me. He's also finished up his robotics bay, I believe.
Yeah.
And he's just pumping out Immortals right now.
And this little Marine is so smart from Alive. As we see, Grubby's actually supply blocked, so that's going to delay the Colossus here. You can see him already starting the extended Thermal Lance. But the Colossus should be started soon. He's throwing down a Forge. I wonder if he'll go for the double Forge upgrades. Here in the center of the map, some great force fields there. Just a handful of those Marines, but he's definitely going to have to fall back there, as the Marines are on the other side of those force fields. And he still is not. There's the first Colossus coming in, right at 85 supply for Grubby, 99 for Alive.
Right, Alive has done a good job just staying active with those units. He tricked Grubby into pushing a little too far up the ramp. He forced a lot of those stalkers to retreat, killed a good chunk of them. And now what's going to be very different is that in this next battle, Alive is going to have both much more Marauders mixed in and Stim.
Yeah. Here's the Observer for Grubby, getting in the main base, seeing about what you expect to see. Ooh, a great Stim here. It looks like Alive knows that it's there, and he immediately takes it out with a nice scan. That Alive is just really playing so well right now in this tournament. We see that Stalker did clean up a unit out there in the center, and right now, I mean, I think it's go time here for Alive. 126 supply to the 96. The first two medevacs about to pop out, and that is typically when Terrans will signal for an attack.
So Alive is moving his units across. Now, it's not a bad time for him to engage. I think he might wait until his ground attack upgrade is finished up, but maybe he senses weakness. He's just going to stim and go up the ramp. The force field wall was not completed. He was able to get some additional Marauders up there and start laying down. Oh, man, and now the 4 Marauders are onto the Colossus, able to take that down as well, and Alive is moving in for the killing blow. The factory gets there as well, in addition to the medevacs, but Grubby just has nothing left to hold this off.
Yeah, good game. Grubby just simply did not have enough stuff there to deal with Alive. Alive's positioning with his Marines, getting on both sides of those Stalkers early on, really prevented him from doing anything, as well as that sneaky little Marine walkthrough on the left-hand side of the map, where he was able to deny mining and probes as well at the natural. So
well, that was just smart, right? Like it just happened to be that Grubby put his Stalkers all the way up the middle of the map,
right? And
to be able to have that small window of opportunity to get by 10 Marines. And Grubby wasn't making any more units, right? He was busy dealing with his Nexus. So
right. So Grubby now down 1 game to Alive, and I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it out, but stranger things have happened, like the Muslim beating Nesti. So guys, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Rob, don't give me that face. See you guys in just a minute.